So good day, guys. I'm here to talk about the 3-4-3 used by Conte and by Amorim. Let's see the difference and what is really affecting this present team and what really helped Conte. Conte used 3-4-3 in the first year of his campaign. The second year, it didn't really work well. Tuchel also used it. So probably next time I'm going to talk about Tuchel, but now Conte, then Amorim 3-4-3. So let me start with Conte. Conte 3-4-3. The keeper has to be a good ball distributor. You should be able to, save clean goals because you have to cover a lot for your players and the likes, David Luiz as the main central back because David Luiz is a ball carrier. He will be able to, move forward and come back. Move forward and come back. He says that when you are starting the attack, the keeper holds the ball. You have the right centre back, the left centre back wide enough for the keeper. So instead of the central centre back staying alone, he will move forward to meet the midfielder. So the midfielder will become 3 instead of 2, which is what David Luiz do most of the time. So doing that, keeper has to be able to connect with David Luiz or the left central back or right central back then moving forward. Because the game 3-4-3, everybody has to work consistently to be able to complete the game. Because you have to work accordingly. It's not something that you have to run a mistake pass now. It's going to affect us because the moment you make error pass from the midfield, it affects because most of your defense are up front pushing for a lot of options. So when you make error as a defender or as a midfielder, you have to cover for it because a lot of the players are expecting a ball from you from outside. So they have to now start tracking back. So keeper should be able to connect to any of the player. The release ball carrier, a ball user, can be able to distribute ball and carry ball along. You have carry from the left side because a back three, you need a very good left footer that can make use of the ball, give pass probably. So and they have as a putter very rugged and stubborn player, which is what Delete does for us mostly. But presently we have Delete playing in the central midfield, central defense, Euro in the right defense, and Shaw in the left defense. Shaw, I think Shaw is there because Martinez is on injury. If Martinez is really functioning, Shaw won't be playing that position for me because Martinez is good. We've seen a lot of that last season when he was, fit. Having that back three that can decide ball, that can carry ball, they are good bowlers. Because the 3-4-3 formation, you just don't want to pass. You have to be able to use your individual knowledge, individual capacity, individual game, talent to connect to the players. Because if you don't use that, it will affect. So you find playing shot one and we still struggle to even penetrate well because we don't have player that can face a 1v1. They are always just passing the ball around instead of a 1v1 encounter. So we have having issue with 1v1. 1v1 in the sense that you are playing against a attacker and you can't mark the attacker. That is 1v1. That is find it very hard. Martinez is good with that. But I really don't want to blame Shaw for that because Doku is a dribbler. He's a dribbler. He dribbles 7-1. So I can't really blame Shaw for that. But let's talk about the second goal. We saw Haaland in the middle of you and Delete. Then you notice that Dogu will just pass the ball straight to that space. So anything you have to do there, you don't have to aim to slide. Sliding could cause penalty. You don't have to aim to use your hand. It's not going to be convenient for you against Haaland that is quite tall. What you should have done is just a body checkup. You jam in before he could really stand well. Bahindra will have come forward to block the ball. But no, you were using your hand and you are quite short. You are shorter than him. You can't use your hand against Haaland, Haaland is tall, he can use his hand. You are short, you are supposed to body check him. So that was what I just see with Shaw that day. So look at the goal, the third goal again. A error from the defense or the defensive midfielder will be punished instantly. You have Shaw trying to give the ball back to Ogard. Ogard seeing the ball as a ball that's too hard for him to take, meaning you have another player behind him that you want to give the ball. So Ogard forgo the ball, then the ball came back to Maguire. Maguire trying to force the ball out to Bernardo Silva or is it Foden? Then Haaland was in their own half. After the course of the error, then you had the result of half to play. You have to be able to decide as a 3-back, which was Chelsea used in the first season. So we have Victor Moses in the right wing back. We have Marcos Asensio in the left full back then that moves forward and back. Victor Moses, looking like quite a Victor Moses is a player that is good as a winger, good as a marker also. So meaning he can play ball as a bowler. So he's good in crossing and in marks well. And also he's not really that good in strength, he does not have that pace, but he's good in defense and he can square play the ball, which is what you need from a wing back, because they must be able to use the ball and cross the ball well. Mark, use the ball, cross the ball well. You will see them coming into the midfield to support the midfield, making use of the attack because they can score. You see Marcos Alonso scoring goals, you see Moses scoring goals. Why? Because they are good in attacking and also good in defending. That is just what a wing back means. Then we have Dalot always making error, not able to score play the ball well. We have Dogo not able to score play the ball well, good in defense but not good in attack. The same thing we had for Wan-Bissaka. We have Masraoui, who don't want to go forward too much, maybe because of the strength is not building yet. He's just coming back from injury, then he's still working on the strength. Moving forward and crossing the ball, that is how effective that wing back should be, because they're going forward and coming back. So let's go to the middle. We have Matic and Conte. For Conte's formation, we have Matic being a controller and the balance of the whole team. You see Conte going as a box-to-box man because he covers a lot of space, which is what every midfielder should do. Midfielder, defensive midfielder. But now you're playing 3-4-3. The remaining midfielder is a standing for and a moving for. Which Matic is the standing for. Conte is a moving for. What really helped them is Conte follow-ups. He covers a lot of space. Looking at ManU formation now, we have either Casemiro or Hogarth playing as our standing for in ManU. I see Kubi as an attacking-minded player. So mostly I see that coach don't want to use him at that standing for most time. But using him will create balance in the whole team. Fernandes has to follow his player up if that is going to work. Because Fernandes will be the box-to-box player if Kobe is playing. Fernandes, this season, about 3 goals or 2 goals has come back from him not tracking his player to the extreme end. Not tracking the player. That is what made Kante's work very different from Fernandes' work. Fernandes is the box-to-box man. Kante is the box-to-box man. You have to follow up a player to the extreme end, which is what Fernandes lacks. It is a attacking minded. So that's why I fear Coutinho and Bruno Fernandes playing together, because Coutinho is attacking minded. If he goes, Fernandes also will not want to go forward too much. Then finally they get too overwhelmed with going forward. Then we know who is going to remain at the defensive midfielder. Kante made it work because he was going and he had a lot of strength. Matic, a ball carrier, a ball mover, decisive. We have Casemiro that you give the ball most time, he doesn't know what to use the ball to do. We have Hogarth that you give the ball, he's not good on his foot, he's aggressive, could cause foul at any time, at any given time. That is the difference between the both of them, which they can really work well on these issues. They can work well with these issues, but we are the one really giving excuse to this player. The coach is not using the players in the position. You are saying coach formation is, if you are a bowler, no matter the formation you have been given, if you can use the ball, you will win the game. If the both of you can use the ball, errors will be caused by anybody and will cause the team. If you can use the ball well, I don't know why they say 3-4-3 cannot work, because 3-4-3 give a lot of attempts to the front. If you are getting that attempt to the front, then we can score. Then that track back to when Conte has Diego Costa, Hazard, Pedro and Williams on the other side, mixing up the teams. We have a good goal scoring attackers, meaning attackers that are good in dribbling. Diego Costa can dribble, Hazard is a dribbler, Williams is a dribbler, Pedro is not really a dribbler, but he's a dribbler at his time, he's a dribbler. Manchester United against Man City, we find out that without ManU and Cunha, we can't dribble past a player. Ahmad has not been in his best position this season. We are not saying coach is not in his position, but no, as a player, he should be able to. He's a black guy. I'm surprised that saying Ahmad is not playing this position. That is what's causing him. Saka started with defense. Anthony started with defense. It's defensive defense or keeper. Drogba started as a black man, as a black footballer. You must have tried a lot of position. So you can't tell me Ahmad can't play that wing. No, it's not possible. He can play any wing you put him in that pitch. He can't play 4 because he's not really that good in marking that much. You can't put him in 4. You can put him in 8 mostly because you want him to be a second striker, but you can't put him in central back at all. Why? Because he's short, he's not that aggressive. You need someone that's kind of aggressive, though he's a ball carrier, but no, it's not really that functional. But you can't tell me that he can't play wing back because most of them started with that position. Most of them started with 2 and 3 position before you can see them playing 7 and 11. We have midfielders trying 2. We have Kimmich trying a lot of position, and we are the one complaining that our player has never been using it in his position, which is not fair. Because I don't know why we are complaining for the players. So let's move to the forwards. You see, Del Costa used the ball so good. Hazard look for chances, creating. Because of Pedro supporting the midfield, Hazard work is just to create and score goals. Create and score goals. Having Del Costa that is aggressive, bullying a lot of defenders to score goals. If Del Costa is in this time here, he will score a lot of goals because there are a lot of weak defenders. But we find a lot of ourselves not wanting to go past defenders. All we want to do is receive pass to score, to score. That's why we have Alves, Atletico Madrid, kind of good striker to have, playing different position. That's why Cunha is seeing chances in games more than Sesko, because Cunha position, receive ball, won't use the ball. Sesko trying to find space for himself to use the ball. Cunha creates chances for himself. Sesko can't create chances for himself. That is the difference between the both of them. So you find yourself having Sesko not having enough chances in the game, Cunha having enough chances in the game. Why? Because Cunha is a ball carrier. He uses the ball positions well. That's why we have Zexi having a lot of attempts, even when Oldland is playing a lot of game more than him. We have Oldland playing 60 minutes without any attempt. You have Zexi coming in the last 30 minutes and having about 32 attempts, even scoring if possible. That is different between just a striker and a ball player. You can't. Fernandes will play as a striking role, first 9. So you can't tell me that there's one person that's not playing one position. If you are looking at that midfield, we don't have any player that covers space more than Fernandes. So you can't put Fernandes at the attacking side. He has to help in the midfield. If you are looking at our midfield, ManU is an attacking minded player, though he can create balance. So the only place Kobe can play effectively is making Fernandes sit on the bench or putting him up front. Okay, now putting Fernandes up front means you are taking one of Sesko, Cunha, Ahmad. Even let's say Ahmad is not there. So let's say you are taking one of Sesko, Cunha, Mbuma, Mount. Taking 3 players out to 5 players. That is, one of Cunha is going to sit down. Cunha or Mount is going to sit down for Fernandes. So when in the game are you even going to bring out Fernandes or Mbuma to play Cunha? That is how the games work. Kobe should have a lot of strength and space to cover, to be able to beat Fernandes, making him on the bench for him, or him coming in for Fernandes' second half. That space covering is what Fernandes is for. None of the midfielders can do that. None of the midfielders can do that. You have to be able to cover space and create ball. That is what box balls player is. You have Sesko in the up front. Look at the ball, the last game against Chelsea. We are complaining that Ahmad should have given the ball to Sesko in the first shot. But funny enough, he can still give Sesko second touch of the ball, the third touch of the ball. But looking at Sesko didn't really wait for the ball. He went straight to the box, looking for a header. Meanwhile, you have a lot of space to wait and receive the ball to score. You going in for a header made Ahmad want to score a play. So that is more of you not giving yourself options as a striker. We played against Chelsea. We faced 10 man against 11 man, meaning they have 9 players, we have 10 players. And then we are supposed to hold the ball and try 1v1 at any given time. But what we are doing most time is pulling the ball to the extreme end. But funny enough, we don't have wingers that can pull out. We don't have, and we are depending on pulling out. We don't have wingers that can pull out. Dogu is not really good in pull out. Sure, that is good in pull out. Stop pulling out for a long time. Mazuari not really pushing the pulling out. Looking at the goal, the 2 goals scored against Chelsea, it was not the first aim that scored the goal. It was the second touch. It was another to another person, another to another person. That is how we struggle to get goals against Chelsea. But looking at Chelsea, even with the red card, we find Pedro still maneuvering, still using the ball in that game, because he's a dribbler, he's a 1v1 player. You can't keep giving excuses on players not playing in his position, because you are meant to play in so much position as possible. If you want to play in so much position that you find yourself in. We have players as Ahmad has been trying bicycle kick, but it's not working well for him, and he's still trying it. Eder will have gotten 2 goals this season. A goal against Man City, he tried acrobatic, it didn't work well. Against Chelsea, tried acrobatic, it didn't work well. Eder should have worked well for him. Even if you can't score, an attempt is good. A rebounds, we can score from it. You can't miss that chance of acrobatic 2-3 times. You should be good in order to try it in a game. Exercise it on the training ground, but in the game you have to decide on what to use the ball with, on how to use the ball. So that's the difference between the both of them. You have Conte's formation making use of Costa scoring most of the goal. Then you have second season when Costa left, when Morata came, it was hard for Conte to even have a win in the game. Why? Because no good striker that is aggressive to work with that system. Everybody has to work consistently. You don't leak. If the striker leaks, you have their defender working well against us. The moment that defender is working well against our attack, our midfield starts losing control, because we start piling up in the midfield because our striker is not moving well. The moment one of our winger is dying down, that wing is affected, because the wing back, we have to be doing a lot of jobs to cover to make use of the ball, The moment those wing back are affected, you find the back three struggling to mark 2 players, because the 5 defense that is supposed to be is being affected because the striker is not covering up well. The winger are getting tired. The midfield is not covering space. Then it affects the back three. No matter how the back three is solid enough, they get tired when a lot of pressure keep coming. Because as a 3 back, you have to cover a lot of space, intercept, cover a lot of space. So that's the difference between the both of them. You have to work accordingly from your wing. You have to work processing according to your wing. You have to work for it to work well. Looking at the position we are, looking at the stats we have been having, we have created more chances even than Liverpool, that is on top of the table. We have produced more chances than them, but we have limited goal scorers. We have penalty, we have own goal. In the goal, we haven't scored. Meanwhile, we create a lot of chances which won't have even ended in penalty or own goal. We have chances that can win games, but we stop winning games because we are not deciding how and who to give ball in the attack. Fernandes giving balls back to Sesko when Ahmad was free to the post. A lot of decision making in the forward that causes a lot of attempts, but no proof for it. So I'll leave you guys with that for now. I will talk about Tuchel later on. Tuchel also played 3-4-3 with Mount playing as a hybrid, meaning he uses the ball. You have Jorginho that describes ball for you. He's calm. He plays like Toni Kroos, because Toni Kroos, what Kroos does as Madrid is, he gives Casemiro time to work with him. That's why Casemiro is making in mind, because there's no one to really control the ball for Casemiro. There's nobody to control the ball for Casemiro. Toni Kroos control the ball for the midfield. Casemiro just marks. But ManU, you have Casemiro doing a lot of jobs because there's no one controlling the midfield for him. So that's all different with them. So later I'll do the 3-4-3 of Tuchel, and I'm very sure we will stop saying all this 3-4-3 formation is not working in England, because no, Tuchel used this 3-4-3 to win Super Cup, used to win Champions League, and I think Conte used to win the league. So you can't tell me 3-4-3 is not working in England. You have to work as a player to make your formation work. You can't keep changing coach and you're saying they should change tactics.